What's up, your boys? Episode 25, baby. I'm excited. It's a century or quarter century number. What is considered? What is it at 30 years or 25 years? You're considered vintage.
Yeah, like a
Vintage.
car.
Yeah, is it 25 or 30 years?
I did not
25.
know that was a thing.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
25.
Okay, it is 25. That's what I thought.
Me and Taylor are lost in the sauce here. I have no clue what you're talking
I'm
about.
just watching our sweet seamstress up here go to work.
Yeah.
Let's go. Corey's just at work, you know. Why have sweatshops when you have got Corey?
I'm
He's
sweating my
sweating.
butt off.
That's definitely true. Well, tonight we're going to be talking about what went down at the very first major of the year. A lot of exciting things happened. I'm excited to talk about all things course, players, results, finishes, emotionally, spiritually, physically, all the above. So I'm hype. And also, this is the last episode before we all get together and hang out in Charlotte and play some mad disc golf.
Do you guys know
Which-
that this will?
What?
You know that this will happen to be, like exactly 1.5 years since we've started doing this.
Yeah.
Because we'll be right around episode 26, essentially.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing right there.
We're giving y'all we're gonna give you all a special live episode down in Charlotte. We're all gonna just recap probably how we played that day and just kind of hang out and play that live. That'll be Saturday night. Don't know what time, but be on the lookout for that. So pretty much, Scott, be on the lookout for that. If you want to hang out with us Saturday night. So yeah, anyone do any last minute disc golf stuff before our trip? Okay, moving on then.
I'm trying to think of if
I played disc golf on Saturday. I did not birdie every hole like the last time I played. I thought that was so stupid, and I just quit. No, I played okay. I did not play as well, but you know, I was out there vibing, having a good time. Mainly want to point out I'm honored to share a release day today with Kendrick Lamar. Go listen to Euphoria if you haven't yet. If you're not a Drake fan, if you are, you'll probably be sad.
Wow, shout out. And we got some interesting news regarding you in Waka Flocka. Was that true?
Yep, 100%
Okay.
true.
Sick. Cool.
That's my guy.
If you don't know what we're talking about, too bad. Come join our live stream and then come join our live stream and maybe you'd find out. Or maybe it wasn't even on live, but you'll just have to come join us live to be able to find out what we're talking about. So I'll jump in. I got a chance to throw the new Discraft. I cannot say Discraft to save the life of me.
Craft.
I called it
craft.
Yeah, Scraft is probably the best way to do it. I tested the drive yesterday, and I was really surprised because I had heard it was a beat-in Wraith, which it absolutely the one I threw is not. It was stable, had some dome to it, but what I was impressed about it was it did have some good glide to it. It holds the line pretty well. I only threw it on a backhand, though. I had another guy with me who was throwing it on a forehand, but it was pretty stable on a forehand too. So maybe it's just a prototype version that's stable. Also, Corey reached out to someone else who's very experienced at throwing the drive recently, and they said the flatter, gummier ones are more understable than the domier, stiff ones. So Corey's got one that we can test out when we're down in Charlotte, and so we'll be able to maybe check that one out and compare it. So I got a chance to throw that. And I played Friday, Iron Hill, doubles match, smoked everyone. I was garbage the first 8 holes, and then I came on and absolutely was throwing dimes the last 9. So had to play a little woods golf before I came up to Charlotte, and it was 50-50, but putter's good. Feeling excited, trying to get to bed as early as I can this week so my body's rested. So.
W. I played on just a course that is a seasonal course that just went back in, like last week. So it was pretty exciting because I was waiting for that course to go in. It has, like I mentioned earlier, has a dog water front 9, not worth playing, but the back 9 is actually enjoyable and it's like a cool course. It's the course I learned to play disc golf on, so it doesn't really matter how broken down it slowly gets over time. I'll still be like, this is the most amazing course ever because it's just ruined. It ruined what I believe about other courses. But I got to play that. Played with some buddies. Had fun with that. Drive's feeling okay. Forehand's feeling better than it has in the last couple month or two, and putter's feeling as usual. So I'm excited to play some woods golf. That's a lot of fun there. What about Mr. Kramer here?
Well, first off, I got my microphone working, so I probably sound not like dog water. While I was still in Atlanta, I played with Clark, the guy that I told you is like has this really cool idea. So we basically played, I think, 14 or 15 holes of Heritage Pines, which he likes to consider, and now I like to consider Northwood Black Junior.
Really?
Insane course. Yeah, super fun. I wouldn't say it's as difficult, obviously, because I was shooting I think I shot maybe +2 and even the 2 times that I played it, but it's gorgeous. Pine straw floor the entire time.
That's sick.
All of the pines are like trimmed up to where it's like super
Love
thin.
that.
Yeah, it just looks beautiful. I got one of the best compliments ever from him, which is you kind of have that Simon putt going on, which is just the best thing that I could ever ask for. So that's not going to work this weekend while we're in Charlotte.
That'll be gone.
Jinx.
Yeah. I ended up getting a box in the mail from Pipan Discs. I'd like to thank Taylor a little bit for introducing me to Pipan. And
Shout
then Big B Disc Golf is a dude that is, I think he's from Ohio, but he reached out and he was like, dude, I'm sponsored by Hazy Shades, which is like, I don't know if it's the shop that they manufacture Pipan in, or if it's just kind of like affiliated. But he was like, dude, I'm going down there. I'll let the guy know about you. Like, please, I want to see you review some of these discs. So sent me out a pretty good care package and told me what they were. So I got 2 Spires, which is, depending on what plastic, it's either a destroyer or an interval. Like they have one less stability for the I guess less stable plastic. So 12.5 -1 3, 12.5 -1 2, 2 grunts, which are most likely going to go to Taylor after I review them.
The GOAT.
Yeah, what is it? 9
Straight fairway.
9.5 -1 2 or something like that, I think.
Yeah.
Also in cherry plastic, Baker's Blend. This bagger it's their just like point and shoot putter with a bead, but this is Twice Baked, which is like their eco, like whatever
That's
you want to
cool.
call it.
I like that
line.
name.
I know, it's really funny.
That's
and
cool.
then the whole reason I reached out to them was because of this. It is a satin cherry disc. Cherry is their plastic. It's kind of like their champ, I guess. But satin plastic literally feels and looks like stained glass. It is the most insane feeling. And I found out it's not real. Like they accidentally made this because there was just some like film on the inside of the mold. So it's not a run that's going to always be there.
Ooh,
So at
wow.
least, and I guess he said it's also like a lot of people are not really into it because of the fact that it's like feels completely different. But I just love the feel, and I can't wait to throw this and then most likely just sleep with it. And then lastly, my last
Those things are
disc
tanks,
is
dude. They're so overstable.
good. I might use it then. And then the Conspiracy, which is a 5.5 -20. So it's basically their version of a Rolo. It does look like a Rolo. It does feel like a Rolo, but I don't know if it's going to be as flippy as a Rolo. And honestly, it might replace the Rolo because the Rolo is in my bag right now. So got these to do a video. I also have like 5 or 6 videos that I still haven't edited because,
Corey,
life. Yeah. So, and then I got the drive, which I still haven't thrown yet, but I'll probably throw tomorrow at lunch or something just to see if it's any flippier, because it is pretty gummy. It's pretty flat.
That's sick.
Got a good color just in case Tyler wants to end up buying it off me, because that's probably what's going to happen.
Yeah, I can feel it. I can feel it in my nuggets. It's
Yeah,
coming.
he complains so much about having too many drivers, distance drivers, and then he tells me to go out and find more for him. So
Yeah, yeah. It ends up. I've
It's
got the
the
Barsby
cycle.
tingles again. So
yeah.
Tyler, what if you had to replace a disc in your bag for the drive right now? What would you replace it for?
for the drive,
For the drive.
I mean, it would have to be the DD3. It would fill
Okay.
that slot, but um, it has to feel. The problem is the DD3 feels so good out of the hands, and it pushes straighter than any 12 speed I've ever thrown. So unless you guys make me throw an interval and then it pushes straighter than the DD3, then I'm
It
gonna.
does.
Well, we'll find out.
I got a
We'll
lightweight
definitely
glow
find
one,
out.
brother. It's gonna push straight. I can tell you that. But
The thing
Corey
is,
probably has more options.
it's just and it does like a little flip up action for me, and it just goes so straight for so far, and it does finish at the very end. It's very reliable. So even if I throw it on a touch Anheuser, it wants to fight out of it, and it will come back. I found that the interval and the Enigma were similar numbers. And with the Enigma, I found if I threw that on a little Anheuser, it probably is not coming back. So it's not very forgiving. So I want to say something about what Corey mentioned a minute ago about making videos and then not editing them. I think it's funny during the wintertime we talk about, dude, it just needs to get warmer. It just needs to get nicer. And then the second it does, we're like, yeah, I don't care about editing those videos right now. I just want to play disc golf. So because somebody asked me like, hey, you haven't made a video in a long time. I'm like, listen, one, I got a baby coming. So I've been preparing for that. Two, it's really nice. So when I go out, I just want to play and I don't want to worry about filming. And three, I just don't have the time to edit right now, or I don't want to make the time to edit. I would say because I was editing like after my family went down for bed and everything. I come down here, edit for a couple hours, and then it was just getting too much. So, but I do enjoy it. But anyways, so all right, so here's what I like to do. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna ask some questions, but what I realized last week is that like I felt like I was pressuring everyone to have an opinion on something. So here's the deal. I'm gonna ask a question. If you don't want to have an opinion about it, you can just hang out and then chime in or blast somebody's other's opinion, which is always great. Um, so I'm gonna ask some questions, and if I miss something, let me know at the end, and we can answer another question that you have that's a burning desire in your heart. Taylor, I'm hoping that you have something you want to bring up that's controversial because you've got
I
some
gotta do
hot
some
ones.
googling.
Yeah, baby. And then we'll talk about DDO very briefly because we have a quick turnaround to where not only do we play like the hardest on tour course in the woods, then we go to it feels like the easiest open course. It's like the anti Northwood Black course, which is really really cool. So all right. So first question to start us off is just very basic. What did you think about Northwood Park specifically in April for the first major of the year? And also give me a letter grade about how do you think it did for the first major of the year as well. I'll go first, I
Go
guess.
for it.
Or I'll have an opinion here. My biggest thing, what I wish I had wrote some notes on how to respond, but I don't. It's just off the cuff essentially. My
But
letter
you're not
grade
dust
is
on debate night.
I used to be. I used to be.
Sorry.
But this ain't debate night anymore, so we're just chilling, hanging out, having a conversation. So my letter grade might be a little off than what other people might have. I have it for like a B minus. The reason why I have a B minus is because I realized that we went to a disc golf course that's a little bit more in the northern region in early, is it early springtime? Middle of springtime, I would say, where it was still very wet, still kind of cold, and I saw guys wearing long sleeves, struggling with the ground because it was wet. And for the first major of the year, you just don't want to see that, in my opinion. I like that we went to a course that's heavily wooded and was very tight. I do believe Champions Cup should be the hardest woods course we can find that's reasonable every single year. Because jumping the gun a little bit on this, finding a winner like Presnell is amazing for a major, in my opinion, because someone that has the skill of throwing it in the fairway should be rewarded. And I know a lot of people were talking about randomness in the disc golf course in the woods, which is a factor, but someone who throws it straight and is a straight shooter should be rewarded in major golf. And how I would compare Northwood's Black to golf is like the US Open. US Open is always historically known for being tight fairways, hard rough, fast screens. And I think that's what we had an opportunity to do at Northwood Park, not Black, I guess, but on the PDGA, it called it Black. So I don't know what to believe. It was Northwood Black, Northwood Park. So yeah, my letter grade's B minus. Like the difficulty, did not like the conditions we played it in. I don't think if we were to go to Champions Cup specifically at that course, can't do it in April. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of that. I was gonna say B. I mean, it's an outdoor event. You know, I think there's always a chance for the weather to be not ideal. That being said, you can, you know, schedule in areas that, you know, follow certain weather trends. I know Scott put in the chat it was the only option. I think that really is the case. I mean, the PDGA was kind of dealt a hand where they needed to mainly put the tournament in the hands of someone they knew that could be, you know, an all-star tournament director. You know, the PDGA having control of all the majors. Nate is an obvious choice there, being, you know, on the board of directors to kind of be the guy to handle that. I would have loved to see it, you know, at a course more similar to IDGC, just regionally, so somewhere more in the Southeast. But if you think about that woods course in the Southeast, like we already use a ton of them, you know, towards the end of the year anyway. So it's hard. I think they did the best what they had. I honestly liked that it was not the full Northwood Black layout. I liked the mix of, you know, the more open style holes just to kind of take a breath, but also completely agree that a winner like Presnell is, you know, a great story and should be rewarded. I mean, famously good woods guys, like final round, I got to put him on blast. Chris Dickerson, I watched this man full force run up, throw a full speed driver in a tree 5 feet in front of him in the woods. Where like you have to be able to game manage a little bit better than that, and like mitigate risk at a course like Northwood, which I think is a rare quality to see highlighted at a lot of courses, and it was a lot of fun to watch this weekend.
Yeah, I'm in a similar boat. I'm saying B plus. I like the course. Obviously, you know, it's Northwood Park, I should say. I like the tournament. I like the fact that for once, the person who was leading the day, actually just legitimately lost ground at some point. They played such a bad game that they lost ground on the field. I think that's cool to see. I don't know how you would ever do that somewhere else that's not a super hard wooded course. But I don't know. They were just, it sounds like from what players were saying, they were just fighting for their life with like, oh, I got to wake up and go play 4 holes that I missed the next day, go back to bed, leave the course, come back 4 hours later. And it's like, I understand it's just weird. You know, if they had some idea it's going to happen, sure. But they're just like, it was just kind of weird to be doing this. And it was a little bizarre. Just because it was bad conditions. And like we said, yeah, you can't predict them all the time, but you can have some idea. But I like the course. I wouldn't necessarily want to see it like a ton of times every year or something, or that style of course. But I would love to see a style of course where the leader could go out and lose strokes on the day. But that doesn't typically happen. So
one thing I find very fascinating disc golf compared to golf is that I'm looking at the statistics for over par for the holes for the course, and holes 18, 12, and 14 were generally the hardest holes over par, and they were all par fives, which in ball golf, usually it's the reverse. Usually the par fives you score on, and the fours are pretty difficult, and the threes are usually the most difficult. And in disc golf, I find it to be the reverse. The threes are usually the easier ones. The fours are scoreable holes. And then the fives are like, for some reason, the most difficult, at least at this course. I'm thinking back and like the open courses, par fives can be easier. I just find it to be very fascinating. I actually kind of liked it that the fives were playing harder, but I did think it was very fascinating how the fives played the hardest. I mean, I thought 14 played harder than 12 at some parts of the tournament because everyone was screwing up that approach shot in, and
Yeah.
they were trying to be very aggressive. And if you didn't hit it right, you were just cooked.
I think
on
and
14.
they had mentioned this on the broadcast too. Like, I think we're so indoctrinated as disc golfers to say like par is bad, like par is a bad score, whereas especially like in that stretch of holes, like par is great, like par is getting you strokes. So I think it's hard to almost turn that off in your brain at that level to say like, I have to attack the pin, like I have to get a look for birdie, because a lot of the difference in the difficulty of golf and disc golf I think is kind of backwards, where once you get within 70 feet of a basket, at least like I'm 90% plus getting up and down, and I might make a C2 putt to save a birdie. Whereas in golf, like you hit the green and that's, less than half the battle, right? Like the short game is really the difficulty.
Yeah. Corey, do you have a letter grade for the course?
I'll also give it a B.
Cool.
I don't hate it this time of year. I think weather's always going to be bad, especially in like the, I guess, more northern states. So
yeah. The one thing I'll say is that region of the United States is known for like Tornado Alley in April, actually. I mean, we just saw tornadoes rip through Omaha and Iowa on whatever it was, Friday or whatever the case may be. So I wasn't thinking about it as much, and then I started seeing the course, and it was very, very wet, and it just stinks that like we had to play a course where people were wearing, it was colder and it was wet on the ground, and some people were slipping. I get the rain portion, but like what was nice being down in the southern region of Georgia is that it doesn't rain particularly too much in that area during a certain time when we had, I mean, I don't remember Champions Cup where it was raining, at least I could say. I could be wrong. But yeah, it was a little disappointing in that mark, but I love seeing a hardwoods course being played for Champions Cup.
Is there any info on W.R. Jackson's remodel?
I don't know anything.
They have bids out for somebody to design the course, and they have not picked somebody to design the course yet.
I'll do it.
Thanks.
I'll send in your bid. Yes.
I'll do it.
$12.50, enough to buy hot dogs for Corey.
It's just that video of Charlie with like the dry erase board and all the pins and stuff.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what they choose to do next year. I really hope they assess how the tournament went, maybe speak to a couple big players, and then make a decision quickly and stick to their guns and make sure it's a good decision that's made about what we're going to do next year. So, all right. So kind of similar question, but are you happy with the result of the tournament?
Of course.
So hold on. Yes, Corey, I can't wait for Corey to say something on this, but like I want you to think about how did it go, the winner, and anything else you can think of. So are you happy with the result of how this tournament turned out? Corey, are you happy?
Of course.
He's a happy boy.
We got a dude who's not even on the elite team anymore for Discraft, who went out and just played his normal golf. And he whooped.
Everyone.
And it's amazing. And I'm hoping this means that some more of those hidden gem discs that usually don't get made that often are going to be made, because he's the kind of guy that throws the drone, throws the Buzz SS, all of these really good discs that don't really get to see that much popularity. And he's probably going to be like, I want one of these, one of these, and one of these. And it'll all be my Champions Cup discs.
So what he needs to do is cop the Swarm and make that his Champions Cup disc.
That's like an infinite money glitch, I think.
Yeah.
Because he can't go back to the drone if they're releasing the Swarm. That's the only problem. So I did already see that he is doing something with Paul, and he's doing like a Z Athena and something else in his Prez for President stamp.
Yeah.
I have 5 takeaways from this tournament, and that's one of them. My rapid fire takeaways. Yes, I love Prez. 2, it's hilarious that he has to get Paul in his promo for winning a major. So funny to me. 3, it's a year too late, Evelina. I'm so mad that last year I was on the Evelina hype train and now she is just winning this year. I forgot one of them already, but 4, the last one I'll say, if Hannah Blumroos could have done what she did on the last day, like any other day, she would have won so easily. She was cracked on Sunday.
She was cracked. What is the other major that Evelina won? Was it
I just meant she won
USDGC?
2. Oh, she did win something before.
They kept on saying she was a 2-time major winner. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
it
what's
was
the
a
other
while
major
ago.
she won?
I think it was something weird.
Mm,
I'm looking it up.
got it. Okay, cool. All right, here are my initial thoughts. 1,
Kristen's
I
washed.
was
That was my last one. Sorry.
what was it?
Kristen's washed.
Oh wow. That's a we got to come back on that one.
Third
I don't know if
best
we can say that
European on
yet.
tour.
Wow. What'd you say, Corey?
I don't know if we can say that yet.
Washed.
Yeah. A wash. Wow.
Kona Peach
I
Day.
mean, does that
Kona
mean
Peach Day.
Silver's beating her out at that point,
That's right.
or not beating her out?
Evelina, Anna, Anakin, maybe Kristen. I'll think about
Simon.
Dude,
it.
Anakin, I hope when she comes back, she starts tearing it up again.
Silva
Anyways,
Sarnen, actually. Kristen's a
I was-
6.
Silva, no way.
Keep
Sorry.
stacking them.
All right. Andrew
Sorry, I'm done. I'll let
Presnell,
you talk.
85% fairway hit. The next closest was 80%, and that was 3 guys: Greg Barsby, Jakub Seminard, and James Conrad. Andrew Presnell tore it up, and I loved it. And by the way, listen to this stat. I think he's the only guy not to get a double bogey on the entire weekend. And also, you know how many bogeys he's actually carded the entire weekend? 7. 7 bogeys. That is it. And the one of the bogeys is where he like threw it over the basket and into the water for like an inside the circle putt.
That was what my other takeaway. I forgot. I have like 7.
Yeah.
Shout out to Andrew Presnell for proving everybody right that carrying 2 putters isn't weird at
Corey.
Corny.
I don't miss like that.
Oh wow! Remember, he putts like Simon.
He
Yeah,
doesn't
he
miss
puts
like
like
the like
He's
a
got
major
that-
champion.
Yeah,
He
that's
not like that.
insane. You're at a major, you put your only putting putter into the water, dude.
The best thing of all is that how he may not have made, but like his caddy ran to, which is his brother, ran to the car, grabbed another putter, and came back.
I was curious the whole time. I was like, if I was him and I just ran to the car, I would have gotten 2.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I wouldn't be coming back with 1.
Yeah, or maybe he didn't have another one. I don't know, but he should have. He should have had another one.
He has 1 putter and 1 backup in separate locations.
That's it.
No
Yeah.
more.
Yeah, Andrew Presnell absolutely tore it up on the fairway, and I loved that. Like he stepped up, and he just looked so comfortable and so money every time he threw a tee shot, and it felt like you were waiting for him to falter, and he never did. Niklas absolutely choked. Absolutely choked. He was still in it. There was a lot of players that were still in it. And I hope this tournament shows. I was going to save some of this for later, but I'll bring it up now. I hope this tournament shows that if you play straightforward golf and course manage and don't overthink and don't throw hero shots, you can win a golf tournament in disc golf. I hope this becomes more of the regular where if you hit lines, you get rewarded, and the hero shots get punished if you don't succeed, which I saw a lot of. So I really enjoyed that aspect. Some people were saying, like my brother was texting me saying like, hey, this tournament's over and I'm bored by like hole 9. And I was like, well, it's not exactly over. And some people were upset that like there was such a score disparity between Niklas and Andrew Presnell and whatnot. And I liked how it finished. It was totally fine. I was totally happy with it. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I agree. Like the biggest thing is like, was this fluky at all? And it's like, no, all the top players were still there. Niklas, Richard, Ezra was up there, but we know Ezra's a good woods golfer in general. Calvin, Matty O took a 6th place. A lot of people missing that. Joel Freeman was up there too. People we expected to play well. Chris Dickerson still 6th place. Joey
Bro, he
Buckets.
smacked that tree so hard.
He smacked that
did.
tree so hard. Joey Buckets still up there. Gannon Burr snuck at a top 10. Like, it's not like it was a crazy weird leaderboard. Just people who were known as really good Woods players were on there.
Or just guys that hit lines.
Or guys that hit lines, and that's literally what Andrew Presnell did. He just hit lines repeatedly. So I don't think it's necessarily like I've heard some people start to mention that it's fluky, and people immediately just get shot down because they're like, no, it's not. Look at the top 10. It's all the same players, It's just 2 guys that were really conservative. And so I'm super happy with the results of this tournament. I thought
I'm
it was
sorry.
sick. Go
I
ahead.
need a stat correction real quick. Andrew Presnell had 9 bogeys. Sorry, not 7.
Not even impressed.
Yeah.
Get
it
him
was
out of here.
2 bogeys are
Actually,
two
not happy
bogeys.
with the result of this tournament.
I
Throw your
was
whole bag in the
almost
water.
so smart by picking Paul and Ricky, by the way.
Dude,
So close.
let's just admit on my picks, I pick Paul Ulibarri, I pick Ezra Robinson. Day 2, Ezra Robinson is 3rd place. Paul Ulibarri is 5th place.
How about
I'm feeling
Ezra
pretty good.
totally
Yeah, I got
bogeying the
lucky on
last
that one.
hole to get Ricky in the top 3 to give Taylor another
Caught
2
a dub
points.
right there.
Hey, as long as I eat, I want all
Unbelievable.
my homies to eat too. So it's fine. Yeah, is that bad for my
Unbelievable.
point standing?
So let me ask you this question in the middle of answering this question, because this one is very vague question anyways. Who were you rooting for coming into the last? I'll say this. Who are you rooting for coming into 3rd round or the 4th round? Who were you rooting for who was up there?
For me, it was definitely Ezra Robinson. Just because I was like, that's crazy if you just pop on here and take this down and you're playing well. And by the same extension, Yuli. When I say the picks that I picked this week were no logical picks. They were picks that it would make me so happy if that person won or took a top 3. That was like all because I didn't know what to expect out of Northwood's Black for 4 rounds. So I was like, what would make me so happy to see on the leaderboards? And I just picked those individuals. So for me, Ezra Robinson taking it down would have been the most hype.
I was rooting, like, I don't love Casey White, but I was definitely rooting for Casey White just because I loved seeing somebody out of nowhere who likes playing tight golf win it. But after the 3rd round, I was hoping for Joey Buckets. I thought he was going to get it done because he's got the flip up game really well and he's a good putter. But he took a nasty 7 on 18 and he went from leading the tournament to tie for 2nd, and I think that I think that messed with him mentally going into the last round, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's brutal.
But
Taylor, do you have someone you were rooting for here?
I don't know if I want to say rooting for because I'm not like the biggest Ricky fan, but I genuinely did think this was Ricky's best chance to win a major for
Yeah.
a while.
Yeah.
And he was charging for a little bit and then just kind of. I think Tyler has some things to say about
Later,
how Ricky
later,
performed.
later.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like it gets lost that like Ricky has not won a major in like 7 years. It's been a long time. Which I feel like this was his best chance to win. He does really, really well at this course. I thought it was shaping up to be a good run for Rick. But a podium at least.
Yeah, dude, I just realized, you guys know what Matteo shot last round?
What?
He does this every tournament in 2023 to get himself into the top 10. He shot 7 down. He shot the
6 for
best.
the tournament and shot 7 down in the last
Yeah,
round.
6 for the tournament, shot 7 down for the round, and got top 6. And he shot the hot round by 2 strokes. Unfreaking believable. I want Matteo to win a major so bad.
Yeah.
I'm on that train. Like, I don't think I would get emotional, but I might get emotional watching Matteo getting
Tyler's
emotional
just crying.
with winning a major.
Corey, what about you? What about you? Who are you most excited about, like round 3, final round?
Well, round 3. I was still thinking that Chris could definitely come back, and that slowly but surely just kind of faded out.
Dude.
And then as soon as I saw that Presnell was just up there, it was, oh man.
Dickerson was there for a minute.
Yeah, and I don't think you realize like Presnell is like an older,
Yeah.
not an older player, but like yes, an older player. He's not that
Long
old.
time discraft.
He
guy,
just he's always been a name that you can find on a disc or whatever. So seeing that was like, oh, what is going on? And I really like that nowadays you can count on nobody. Like last year, we were thinking Calvin was going to win everything.
Yeah.
Earlier this year, we were thinking AB's taking everything down, and then it's not the case right now. So
We're gonna be stuck on that question a long time here in a minute. I feel it.
yeah. So
Andrew
but
Presnell also a very good Rocket League player. Throw that out.
Really?
Yeah,
Is that real?
super good. Yeah, he's like SSL or something.
Wow.
I really like
crazy good.
that disc golf is kind of turning like golf, where it depends on who pops off and who can hold that lead every single week. Which means like we don't have the guy that's like, oh, well, he's gonna win every single week.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, I love it too.
Dog's freaking out.
Disc golf is pretty sick right now. But I will say what was really sad to watch is that like on 18 there wasn't a lot of people there to celebrate.
Yeah.
Either there wasn't a lot of people on the grounds or everyone's like, I don't really care to watch because it wasn't Ricky or Paul or Gannon or AB, which is a little disappointing because Andrew doesn't deserve that. As somebody who's been a journeyman in the game and been a great representation of the game should get rewarded with people there to celebrate. I mean, he had Paul there and Pablo. Shout out Pablo for celebrating.
They're the fan club.
Yeah. One thing I'll say about Andrew Presnell is that I actually rode on the bus with him from the resort to the course at Worlds this summer, and I got a chance to talk to him for like 5 minutes. I didn't want to bother him too much, but like, I don't want this to sound weird, but this is how I have to word it. He's like the sweetest guy, like very down the earth, and like was so open to answer questions, but also like he saw like I was with my wife and my daughter, and he was asking like how old she was, what's her name, and he was like waving to her. Like he didn't have to do all that before he was playing a Worlds tournament like this summer, and was such a nice guy. So like deep down inside, like I was so like happy that this guy won. Now I will say like he doesn't show much of a personality in front of the camera, which is a little disappointing, but very super happy for him, and hopefully this will project him and
Surely he's back on the elite team, right?
dude,
Surely.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy conversation, dude. Like what do you like?
Who's getting kicked though?
That should be what we
Maybe.
should be talking about right now. Who is getting kicked? You know what's crazy is that it's probably Corey Ellis, who just won a major last year.
Just give Paul the like legend status or whatever they gave
I was
you.
about to say,
Icon.
Yeah.
I think that would be the move is make Paul an icon and then just
That would be the move. But yeah, I don't know who you would remove from that list.
Could it be Brody?
I mean,
no, he's got too much clout.
It
I just
should
think
be
it might be
Brody.
by Brody's hand though. I feel like Brody might just be like, "Yo, I'm out."
Yeah, Brody could. They
Yeah.
could give Brody like, "Hey, we're gonna knock you. Do you want to take a step yourself, or do you want us to do it?"
I genuinely could see Brody just being like, "I'm just going to be like foundation sponsored and just rep that." And I mean, probably still throw a lot of discraft, but not be.
Well, that's
as
the
tied.
thing. Like he could push discraft more than the other people that aren't on the elite team,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
still be like elite numbers.
Yeah.
So I can easily see him saying like foundation, get all your discraft here, and then he's just not really
Yeah.
competing.
Right.
Yeah, you guys know Hannah Macbeth is on the tour team for
Slinging 'em.
Discraft.
Slinging them.
Still,
Yeah,
maybe that was part of Paul's contract.
it looks like it's an old
That's
foundation.
the same deal
pick
to
or
Austin Hannum has. So.
something. And
But in
sure.
reverse,
Same
a
deal.
part of
Ian
Katrina
McMahon has.
Allen's contract is
Yeah.
that Austin gets on the team.
That's actually hilarious.
One thing I'll say about Austin, I actually witnessed his ace at Iron Hill on 14, I think is what it was, which is the most difficult par 3 to ever get an ace on, in my opinion, which is wild. But anyways, don't want to give him any more talking points unless we have to.
You're the one doing it.
I know that was me.
I forgot about the whole Austin Ham thing until Scott Cash's question. Then I remember that's probably what Tyler was alluding to about anything controversial that I can rant about. So
yeah, I don't know if Scott is actually alluding to that or not. It could be other things, but we can talk about that at the very end. So we'll save that. And anyone who's watching the recording, you'll see what we're talking about at the very end. All right. I want to get to this question. Clickbait, baby. Click. I want to get to this question because I feel like when I was coming up with these questions, I was like, I don't want to sound negative, but we have to like critique and express how do we feel about the current disc golf, wherever we are in disc golf right now. For me, I feel like we started off this first two questions in a pretty positive way, but who were you most disappointed in this past weekend? I have a lot of people that I want to talk about. Let's hear it. Why?
I feel like mainly because we're starting to see the flashes, right? Like you can see the glimpses of like Paul can be Paul again. And then I honestly think more than anything, I know I heard it talked about a lot as well, and I think he's mentioned it, is it's more just like the actual fatigue, right? I know people have been quick to point out Paul's probably put on a few dad pounds for the past couple months, also being off of surgery and or not surgery, but the injury and everything.
Yeah.
I think that he has mentioned he just doesn't have the same like gas in the tank for 18 full holes and 4 full days of a major. But yeah, I pinpoint the one, like I can't remember what hole it was, but he was in like a super pinched off spot in the rough beside a basket and like tried to force one through and like kicked back into a creek and had to take a drop like 60 feet back where he could have just like laid one up and tapped it out. So just we were seeing the glimpses, which got my hopes up. And then he didn't play like super bad. What was he, like top 10, I think?
He got top 10.
He's on his way back, but I definitely had my hopes up that like Paul could just randomly catch fire and snag another major real quick, and that did not happen.
Yeah, I actually want to mention something about the fatigue. Last year, I was pretty fit last year, like condition-wise and muscular-wise. And last year when I played in tournaments, I was very, very consistent. This year, I haven't been in the gym as much these last several months because of some personal issues, and I have seen the result of that where first round I play really well and second round I've struggled, and I can chop that up to like my mental game. But I don't know if people realize like your tiredness and fatigue also messes with your mental game at the same time, obviously.
Definitely.
So if you're not fit enough to play like a multiple rounds or in this case, 4-round tournaments in one of the hardest courses to play in the world, you're going to struggle with that fatigue, which is what I think people are starting to realize with Paul. And I think Paul might be realizing himself. So maybe he gets the reps in. I don't know what he's going to have to do. I think he's going to have to go like super diet and like start conditioning himself more to get into to better shape, maybe just to hit that point. So
anyway, someone get that Rocky training montage of Paul Macbeth.
Yeah, I mean, I've said it before, like historically Paul's the guy that outworked everybody, right? Like, I mean, Paul's athletic, but he's on the shorter side. Like he's not like an athletic specimen build wise, but he just literally like outworked everybody, which is, I mean, I don't blame him for not doing it anymore, but I think that's a big piece that's kind of been missing over the past, I don't want to say a couple of years, but this year for sure.
There's also like a scientific phenomenon that I don't know all the details to, but the general gist is that when your wife is pregnant at the later stages and into the early stages of like your baby into toddler, like there's a certain type of like connection between you and your partner to where like guys' brains chemically change to where you have a little bit more like estrogen in your body. And also because your body tries to, this is what I've heard, your body tries to store more fat so that you're able to sustain like late nights and stuff like that. And I wonder if that's kind of like what has happened to Paul a little bit as well, where that chemical change,
the general stress and change of like having a child, like throwing off routines and everything can definitely,
which was actually kind of ironic because I have a 2-year-old, so after a year, maybe she was like 9 months, I was really hard back in the gym, and I was like pretty fit, and like I got right out of that whatever mode I was in. So right now I'm back into like the mode where I'm sluggish because I got baby number 2 on the way. And
Northwestern University published a study of 10,000 men that showed fathers gained more than 4 pounds after having their
Yep.
first child.
That's what it was,
There
the
you go.
Northwestern one. Yep. That's what I was reading. So, yeah, it's like once these kids are done, maybe you can get that energy back or whatever the case may be. But all right, who else are we disappointed in? Let's let it rip. Who stunk? Who stunk it up? Matt, you have anything?
A couple different people stunk it up, but in my
Well,
opinion,
who are you
like
disappointed in?
okay, if I had to throw names down there of people that I was disappointed in specifically, I think Isaac Robinson I'm a little disappointed in. I know he has been playing that well, but I kind of just expected him to come out there and do well. I really do think any top pro, any of our top guys, I'm kind of disappointed in. Not because they did something terrible, but because they didn't really have to do anything miraculous to win this event. They had to do consistent fairway hits, exactly what Andrew Presnell did. Okay, so like every other top pro has that ability, but what they don't have is the mindset to be able to say, I should set this here, set this here, set this here, whatever. AB's going out there and trying to blast a Luna as far as he can possibly go, and be like, bro, let me make this easy for myself. Like, so I think any of those people, even Paul Macbeth, as we're saying, could have played it just like Andrew Presnell did and won, because I think they may have a better physical game than Andrew Presnell does, but Andrew Presnell beat him in the mental. That's how it goes. So just kind of that. I think I see that. I think I see that more commonly now, where I get more frustrated with it, where I just see really good players do dumb stuff, and I'm like, oh shoot, they should probably move. They should probably learn a little bit about the game of golf before they move forward with that. But yeah, just players like that in my head.
All right, I got 2 names I want to bring up. One, I want to hit right off the bat. Calvin Heimberg, dude. Once again, another opportunity to win a major. He's got the game for this kind of course. He tore it up. Well, kind of tore it up last year. He started throwing the forehand again, so that really, in my opinion, shouldn't be that big of an excuse, other than he's not used to throwing the forehand this season. But it just felt like he had, especially the last round, he's got these opportunities to like not throw the hero shot. And this is what I'm talking about. Like he had an opportunity to just like on 14, it's like just par the hole. I know that sounds a lot easier than just doing it, but it's like you don't have to go big off the tee. Like throw something that gets you in the middle. Throw your eagle like 400 feet, like where you can just put it in the fairway. Like you don't have to go big. And he missed some putts that I was pretty disappointed with, but he did shoot under par almost every round except for round 2. He shot even par, but it just felt like Calvin would like get himself in a hole, get himself back out like pretty heavily, and then dig himself a hole again. And it's just I don't know when he's going to be able to win a major. Like they listed it on Foundation, all the guys that have won first time majors before Calvin. Like, and Calvin's got all the talent and maybe the most talented player on tour, honestly. So at this point, it's like I don't think he's going to get a major. I just don't think it's going to happen. And so it was really disappointing to watch. For one, because I picked Calvin, so I was kind of mad at him. But he's got the game, but something's happening in his head. So I think he should go see a sports psychologist. I'm not saying that to be mean at all. I think it could actually really help his game to get him out of this drought, because he's got to do something this year. I think if he doesn't win a major this year, he doesn't win one ever, because he's in like this really good form, and at some point it's going to fall off a little bit, at least in my opinion. Second person, this is what Taylor was alluding to earlier, Ricky Wysocki. Okay. I think it's well known for anyone who watches this podcast, aka Scott, that I can't how do I say this carefully, but not carefully? I can't stand Ricky because he's got
I mean, we
so
heard
much.
what he did to the child, the toddler.
That's true,
Dude.
dude. Watched him
I'll
fell
never
over
forget.
and did nothing.
Never forgive him.
Yeah.
Never forget.
Ricky has every opportunity in the world to like win every golf tournament out there. I truly believe that. But he's in the same boat. The hero shot has got to stop in disc golf. When does that change? I don't know. But it's like you don't have to try to thread a shot where it's a low percentage shot when you have like 8 holes to go. And he was on like hole 10 or 11 and he bogeys 11, which he didn't need to at all. It really wasn't that difficult. He pars 12, he birdies 13, and he's in prime position to like put some pressure on Presnell and Ansela. What he needs to realize is the golfing mindset is this, and sorry if I'm boring anyone. The golfing mindset is this.
No, I'm just tired.
I'm not even referencing you, Corey. I've yawned like 3 times, but I've kept my mouth shut this show. This
Bro,
is
it's
like
9 p.m. It's late for us. We're old men.
I know, dude. You need to have like you got to play mind games with people, even if you're not playing directly against him. The way you play mind games is you just stick around, and if you know it's a hole that's tricky, don't play stupid. Like hole 14 is a difficult par 5 that played one of the hardest holes all week. You don't have to play stupid. And what did Ricky do? He played stupid and he let everyone like off the hook. Like all he had to do was like again par the hole and he's right there. And it's like once you see on the leaderboard a guy is climbing and he's not dropping strokes, that gets in your head as a leader like, oh my gosh, is he going to birdie the next hole? Is he going to birdie the next hole? Like it just starts developing and happening. That's what Ricky needs to learn at this stage in his career is you're not just going to go out and just dominate everyone with your play. Like you have to play aggressive when you can and pick your opportunities. But like when there's opportunities in the tournament to just like be there, don't do stupid things. And I'm kind of like, I don't care for Ricky, but I'm disappointed that he has a good game, but he plays dumb golf, in my opinion. So, anyways, that's my 2-player rant real quick.
I got one more just to throw this one out here. This is straight from twitter.com/statmando. So shout out to them for this information. But Eagle McMahon finished 90th place at Champions Cup, missing the cut in the cash line. This is Eagle McMahon's worst career finish and first missed cash at a major. Otherwise, McMahon holds a 73% top 10% at MPO majors behind only Ken Climo and Richard Wysocki. Obviously, new discs injury. There's like a million excuses, but still 90th and missing the cut is tough.
He went on his Eagles vlog channel for YouTube and I watched his review about it. He seemed relatively like pretty reasonable about it, where he said like the only thing I didn't like is that he said, should I probably have played this tournament? Probably not, but like I can learn from it. And I'm like, dude, I can't stand that from disc golfers where it's like you played bad and you're like, I shouldn't have played the tournament. No, you just played bad. Like you can play the tournament. It's fine. Like your expectations shouldn't be high going into a tournament off shoulder surgery, playing at a different elevation level. I mean, what did you expect going to the hardest course in the world, apparently? So expectations got to be. I also want to say one more thing about disappointed players. And I'm really sad, but I texted my brother this. I have an FPO player that's now officially dead to me.
Oh no.
Anyone want to take a guess?
Kristen Tatar.
Paige Pierce?
No.
Bro, I haven't thought about Paige Pierce in years. Did she play?
She did, and she didn't make the cut. She shot 22 over 3 rounds.
Paige. Come on, man.
Cat merch. The reason for it, if you scroll down to the bottom, you look at the leaderboard, she DQ'd after 1 round. And I went to her Instagram and it said, hey, I sucked. and she turned off all her comments for her post on Instagram. And I do not like how people quit and DNF for whatever reason. Either you're upset because you didn't play well and you're not going to cash, you're worried about your rating, whatever the case may be. And I don't like, because she said, hey, I'm out of here. I'll see you DDO. I think there absolutely has to be a penalty where if you DNF, you cannot play in the next 2 weeks. Maybe there's not an event for one of those weeks. That's fine. But if there's if for the next 2 weeks, you can't play an event because it's such. It's bad. It's just bad. Like I don't know. I don't know the exact words to say. To me, I think it's dishonorable, honestly, for you to quit in the middle of the
So
round.
is there a reason that is justified for DNFing?
I mean, obviously an injury, and so I don't know.
Andrew
I-
Marweed was out there and couldn't pick up his mini, man. Let the man.
Yeah.
I'm just playing.
I totally understand that, but like I don't know how you police that actually.
Yeah.
But I am really sick of people like every tournament I go to the bottom and I say who DNF'd because I want to know who they are because I will not root for them anymore if I don't hear anything about an injury going on with them.
Who are
So-
the
About to
quitters
DNF my
amongst
next
us?
one.
The same.
Yeah.
We're all DNFing our next one.
Please don't do that, dude. I also saw Corey Ellis DNF'd, but I don't know if he got injured.
And see.
So I don't know about that. So
But,
I'm really disappointed in Cat Merch. Like I said, I think she's officially dead to me. I was a big fan. No, I'm not. It's really sad.
There you go. I know
So-
Scott mentioned in the chat Ella Hansen being disappointed in. I get that. I know I heard some people mention Ella Hansen before the tournament. I just don't think of Northwoods Park and say like I bet Ella Hansen does well here. I just feel like it's not super suited to her game.
I feel like her throw is slightly flawed, but like the way her form is, because it looks like she's always leaning like she has to throw hyzer.
Yeah, 'cause
But-
that probably comes from Ultimate though.
Yeah, it is. She looks like she's an ultimate player. I totally get that.
I mean, ultimate
but-
players win Champions Cup. That's what I heard.
That's interesting.
I
Is
know.
wait, are you
Pre-
talking about Presnell?
Presnell, yeah.
Yeah.
Is he an ultimate player?
Yeah, he came from Ultimate.
Oh,
You can't
I-
tell in his form.
Well, now that you say that, I totally see that. He throws just like Fish and Brian and all those people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple people you could say you're disappointed in their
you
performance.
know who I'm disappointed in?
I've been waiting for you to tell me.
Yeah.
Team Discmania.
Facts. Let
Where's
it rip.
Gannon?
Let it
Second
rip.
is
all
good
the new-
enough.
Where's all the new boys? Where's Kyle? And honestly, this is kind of a joke, but I am disappointed in Casey White because he couldn't hold on to it. I know he like split his finger back open or something like that, which sucks, but
Yeah.
I was disappointed in the fact that he
But he didn't.
he should have
DNF.
won.
He was
He
out
should have
there.
won. Oh, I understand that. I just where is Gannon? Where's Wonder Child that was supposed to be winning
Cor-
everything?
Wait, Corey, man, do you know that
Get it out.
Gannon he was in 10th place. Nicholas Angelo was 2nd place.
Yeah, but still, where are the other guys?
Game first, you're last.
Who was ever gonna pop off here? Okay, I'm saying
Alden
other than
Harris
Kyle,
was going to win this event,
Kyle
man.
other than Kyle Klein, no one's
Silas
expecting Alden
Schultz,
Harris.
Gavin Babcock. We're the
What
boys.
has Silas Schultz done? He's a really cool player, but what has he done in terms
He
of
was
games?
last year in Champions Cup. He was
He
in
was
the
the guy.
lead card for like 3 rounds.
Yeah, but I'm saying
But-
he's never won.
But the thing
anything
is,
And he
I
got
didn't
a
say
new
anything about
car.
winning.
any other course, any other tournament, 2nd place is awesome. 10th place is awesome. When it's a major,
And you're losing
don't
to
care-
Andrew Presnell?
you
And you're
don't care
Gannon
about
Burr?
anyone
The
except
future
for
is
the winner.
now?
You don't care about anyone except for the winner. It's not like you're like, oh, dude, who took 2nd in Worlds 2017? Who cares?
Paul McBeth.
Um, I just want to state that Casey White at one point on round 3 through 4 holes was 14 under,
It's tough.
and the winner was
That is
15.
tough. I did not realize.
Casey then went on the rest of the round to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 over the rest
You
of
go
the
to
round.
any MPO player and say, hey, after 2 rounds, your score that you're at will win a major if you just par every hole. You think like everybody in the world's taking that? Or
No, I
Oh,
think
easy.
I think most NPO players poop their pants.
yes.
And they don't make
Yeah,
it
that's
back.
Yeah. I mean, again, going back to like the second question, I'm happy with the result, but it just felt like we needed a little bit more back and forth, like a hair more. And like Ricky, Calvin, Chris Dickerson, Nicholas, even Ezra, even Joey Buckets was all right there through 9 holes. And then it was like the back 9 of the Masters happened, and everyone started hitting trees, losing their minds, thinking that they had to claw back instead of just like trying to just steady the ship. And everyone freaked out. And the person with the calmest mind won. And that was Andrew Presnell, because he went 3 under the last 5 holes, which is really impressive to finish.
Yep.
And he could have birdied 18, but chose not to, essentially. So,
Bro, how about that spit out though?
yeah, very wild
That
spit
was
out.
so unfortunate, man.
Yeah, that was kind of comical, honestly. So, okay, last question I have here, and then we can move on to DDO and also hit that question that Scott was talking about. I want to bring that up. My last question is, did you enjoy the scoring separation of this style of course brings, and do you want to see more wooded courses like this on tour?
Yes.
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 Which is really funny
Yes.
because Trevor and Hunter both say that you shouldn't have more of these courses on tour. They are wrong.
Well,
I'm with you.
Why wouldn't it be even?
What do you mean even?
What do you mean?
Why don't we have just as many heavily wooded as we have heavily open?
I think the two things I've heard is, one is not the most enjoyable to watch because you can't totally get it filmed through the woods, and the second one is getting people on the course to watch.
All right. I'm gonna ask the question. I'm derailing this question already.
I
How
don't care.
important, genuinely, is in-person spectatorship for live disc?
Not important.
Like everybody's doom and gloom because like tournament ticket sales are obviously super down this year. But I'm telling you right now, man, it's a double-edged sword. It's because the live product has gotten so much better. Like the live product is so good now. Like I honestly, especially with the weather this weekend, if I lived 10 minutes away from Champions Cup, I'm probably watching it at home. I'm not gonna lie. That's gonna be a way better experience for 90% of it. Then like obviously be cool to meet people, see it in person, but like especially if the weather's bad, like Disc Golf Network's too good for in-person spectatorship. Honestly, I think they've almost shot themselves in the foot.
I
You
think
mean to
they're
tell me you didn't want to wake up at 4 a.m. to watch 4 holes by some
Just
random
camp
person?
out. Yeah.
yeah. I think the way to watch live disc golf is following a group. I think is the way to do it, honestly. I know that sucks, but like you could do a thing where like you're following a group, and then if you want to follow someone else that's coming up behind, there's a place for you to rear off, wait for that group to come up, and then you can join that group in behind and follow it. Because when they had Iron Hill on tour, that's kind of what we did. Is we would follow a group, cut through the woods, and try to look for another group, and then just cut in behind and be a part of that group that was directly behind these players that were playing.
And it may just be like I've never spectated a Pro Tour event, so it may just be that I'm an ignorant idiot. But like
You're an ignorant idiot.
that's fine.
I'm
I just feel like DGN's so good now, man. Maybe it's just more of a shout out to. I feel like people shouldn't be as worried about like dwindling ticket sales or whatever. Like we gonna be alright. It's gonna be good.
I also think there's ways to do it that they haven't thought of. So if anybody wants to reach out to me, I'll
kind of.
When he's done designing the Champions Cup,
That's
IGDC,
fact.
Yeah.
then
Then he'll work on this.
No, but I do think like you can have a heavily wooded fairway without having a heavily wooded side. If that, I don't know if that makes any sense. But like,
the hole can be wooded, but it can have open areas for spectators around.
yes, and honestly, I think you should be able to cut in almost entire strips going both sides, and then do something like use like a netting, so that their disc can't go into you, but you could still look through and watch down the fairway. I don't know if that makes sense, but visually,
I know
I
what
can
you're
see it
saying.
in my head. I don't know.
You guys
If,
still like the
I know
old
what you're saying.
Utah Open course by the
Yeah.
golf driving range where they like skip it
Yep.
off the net, like that.
yeah,
Like it's basically like NASCAR where you're like push or hockey. where
but
you
because
push up
it's
against
so
the
heavily
side.
wooded, still they wouldn't be able to skip it through because they're going to hit a tree no matter what. But
What was
then-
the?
Huh.
No. I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
Well, I was just saying, like, use that. You can also do that to where you raise the net so high that you have like a platform, so people are actually standing above, like almost disc level, watching going through the fairway and stuff like that. I know it's expensive, but if you want these courses, especially the majors, to like be something that spectators are coming to, then why not put in the time, the effort, the money to
Yeah.
make it look really nice and also blend in with the course.
Yeah. I mean, one of my favorite courses to watch that I'll just casually go back and watch is Worlds 21 with Utah playing in Ogden. Like Taylor had talked about how that was one of the favorite courses for him to watch, and like, why don't we have more of those like fun? It looks like a fun style course, and I enjoy that, and I like seeing like it's so annoying how the guys on tour that throw really far and can throw the hyzer game and manipulate wide open shots are the ones that only win on tour. Like at Iron Hill, the last couple winners that won there was Matt Bell, Connor O'Reilly, and there was another one that won that was like a different guy. But like guys that can hit lines and stuff like that. I want to see more of this style on tour. I think they need to figure out a way to do it. And I think it's really exciting when you get different players in the mix with also the high level skill guys as well.
But no, back to the original question too. I really enjoyed, especially like even late, like last half of the round, final round. Like Ricky was charging, like obviously, like I like having the suspense of knowing like Presnell could hit 14 and take a 9. Like that's not out of the question. Like
Right.
it's definitely not over until like he putts on 18.
Yeah, I enjoyed the scoring separation for sure. It definitely made it so like you knew anyone could take a big number. So like you still like even Presnell on like the last couple holes, you're like, dude, anything can happen. Even though he's got like 3-stroke lead, you could do anything. So
Yeah. I did enjoy it. Like I said, I don't know if I necessarily want to see wooded golf like that, but I do want courses where we see that scores like that. Like I don't know if I want to see it 100% of the time.
wooded
I will
golf,
say
wooded golf.
I will say if like 3 years ago you asked this question, I don't know how great coverage would be that like someone like Casey White just throws and then you're just watching lead card
Yeah.
with 3 guys doing well and Casey White just like dying. But now you're gonna bounce over to Paul Macbeth throwing, you're gonna bounce over to this person throwing, you're gonna bounce over to that person throwing, and you kind of dodge a lot of that issue. So, but I liked it too, man. I would love to see if there was a OB ridden course that I say OB ridden, but like a good course, well defined OB, well defined hazard. They could produce more similar scores, but more in the open. I would be pretty interested to see that as well. But I think that'd be far more different than anything we have. It'd be a pretty shocked difference there. So, but yeah.
I mean, Matt's gonna feel the full extent of wooded courses this weekend. So
Yeah, I am.
maybe. What do you think?
What do you mean? Maybe.
I said,
Alright.
yeah, baby.
I thought you said maybe. I was like, what do you mean, boy?
Oh, he's going to die before he gets down there.
Yeah, I'm gonna die.
We're gonna smack Matt at Winthrop, and then we're gonna go play a
He's
fun
not even
course.
No, he's not even gonna survive New London,
Bro, New London, I'm
That's
coming.
and that's on the
that's
way
true.
to Charlotte. So he's gonna
we
die before he.
we
even
might
gets
have to
down there.
actually carry Matt like the last couple holes.
Taylor is just gonna meet us all and be like, "What happened?"
So what happened to you guys?
Yeah, and we're like, horror
Was Matt
stories, man.
always in a wheelchair?
Only for part of the time.
Only for part of
And
the
I
time.
watched that Scott Stokely video, so I know how to throw in a wheelchair too. So we're chilling.
Oh.
Wow, facts. All right. Any other comments about that?
No, sir.
All right, cool. Grade, get real quick. No explanation. Give a grade for the first major of the year.
This
B
is not a
plus.
grade for the course. This is the grade for the whole
Just-
major.
No, I'm just saying like how the weekend went, everything like that. What's your grade? How did you enjoy it? Pretty much. What's your grade? So Corey says B plus.
A
minus.
minus.
You say A minus 2, Matt. I will say. I'm a cynical person at heart.
We know.
Yeah. Nah, I'm
Why
gonna
just-
be grade it. I'm gonna grade it hard and say B minus.
That's
I was satisfied with the winner, but I didn't think the
no
quality
explanation.
facts. All right, moving on.
You did say it.
Moving on.
Yep, this is not my show. So let's move on to Scott's question, which is: should the PDG should I hate acronyms so much. Should the PDGA or the Disc Golf Pro Tour implement a rule or fine to players who engage in conduct detrimental to the tour? So, a little objective, similar to other leagues that get fined for complaining about refs and rules. I'm thinking more about football in that regards. So, and I know a lot of it in football, if you complain about the refs and whatnot after the game, you can get heavily fined in the NFL more than any other. And Scott also clarified he's thinking more along the lines of Drew and Ricky as well. But Taylor, you have full reign to talk about whatever you want to.
I have a different take. I want to go down the road with this.
Do it.
I do think there should be some sort of hook that you're on, right? Where you can't just be, I don't know, like the whole Ricky thing. I know we talked about it last week, but that just makes me so annoyed. But it's interesting, right? Because I feel like for the vast majority, the money really isn't there to like come at your pockets directly. But I think there's ways you could work around that, like where you could say like, hey, you breached your contract. You're not eligible to be on a feature card this year. Sorry. Like you're not getting publicity. We're not going to have you on a press conference. You're not going to be featured. You know, because that's one way that you can say like that's still taking away from potential revenue. You know, you're not being your discs, they're not selling, but it's also not like, hey, here's this guy that drives around the country in a van for a living, gonna also fine him. And it's hard because it has to be proportional, right? Because like you fine that guy $1,000 sucks for like a guy like Chandler Kramer, you fine Ricky $1,000, who cares?
I think we've talked, or not we, but I think people have talked about that before. How do you dish out fines
There's
for
such
people?
an income discrepancy between
Yeah.
the top and the no, I was gonna say the bottom, but the majority and then like the Pauls and Ricks of the world.
I have a different take on this. I don't know if there should be a way of penalizing. I'm sure there could be, and I think theoretically thinking like that would be really good. But I think there needs to be like an all-encompassing players meeting that says, listen, if you have an issue, come to us.
Well, there needs to be a
And I-
players union. That was going to be
Right,
a piece of it.
right.
Sorry, yeah.
And no, you're good. I'm just saying like, and the biggest thing for me is like, it doesn't look good for disc golf pro product when people that are big names complaining on their social media, and then it turns people away from like the people who govern disc golf, and it just creates this like, sometimes I hear people say like, well, I don't even watch pro disc golf because of this and this. Like I get that sometimes. So I think it's not a good idea to be blasting the people who govern the game on social medias. What?
Nothing.
Oh my
This
gosh.
is not related to you, Tyler, at all. I have derailed Tyler's good rant about a good topic. For the second
So
opened-
just so for anyone who's
can't-
listening or watching, Matt just put something in our Discord regarding Brody. I'm not even going to talk about it. And that's what they're laughing about because they all.
Listen,
Did-
I opened Facebook for literally 1 second. Like the first, I opened it. I'm like, what am I doing? And then I look, and it's the first thing I see, and I'm like, sorry, unrelated.
That's how much he cares about what Tyler has to say.
No, I'm trying. This is Tyler.
I was
gonna give a
trying
thing,
so hard to just.
but then I thought it was mildly funny, but then Taylor started cracking up, and
This is actually funny. Oh man, you guys are bad. I feel sorry for Scott. He's just sitting there hanging on,
yeah,
listening.
he's confused.
Anyways, I mean that's pretty much it. I don't like people going on and complaining all the time on Twitter or Instagram about stuff because I think it just it's deteriorating against the disc golf product at a pro level. That's pretty much it for me.
I was gonna say just a second piece of mind is that it obviously isn't gonna rectify everything because like you look at football, you look at basketball, people still have a ton to complain about. But I think a players' union would help a lot. Like I think the idea of like putting a guy like you in charge of a true like players' union would, at least give a liaison of saying like, hey, we're going to talk about baskets and we're going to compile everything to Yuli, and Yuli's going to be our guy that talks to the PDGA about it.
Yep.
Yeah,
I think so. I think so too.
yeah, and in the case of, like you said, Drew made this kind of a longer video, just talking about like, hey, the baskets were constructed wrong here. I know the baskets were constructed wrong. And then he said, hey, I don't really think play was safe on Friday. There's a bunch of stuff falling out of the trees. He goes, when we came back the next day, there was spray paint on like 20 different places that essentially said, don't go near it. A tree is about to fall here, throughout the holes. And he's like, I don't know if necessarily that's safe. They maybe should have just
Bro,
canceled
if
the
a
play.
tree is falling and you can't get out of the way fast enough and you're a disc golfer, you deserve to get hit by that tree.
I feel like that might be a crazy statement to make. POV, Katrina Allen, currently how many months pregnant? Can't quite make the dive through.
Okay, that might be true.
But no, I like so these are two different things. The baskets are one thing, and the conditions are another thing. But do I think it's great to see Drew Gibson, someone who is slowly becoming more of a content creator in the sport than a actively top player in the sport?
Oh, he figured out where he is in the
hopping out
food chain.
hopping out and just making a bunch of PGA or content like about that probably isn't great, but he is right. And guess what? Now there's like 5 different pros that are like, wait, the baskets at DDO have something wrong with them. We got to figure this thing out. Like, it would be great if they had one body they could go to instead of yelling it into the void of YouTube and Instagram and Facebook and hoping that someone hears them.
You guys
Yeah.
think we'll ever get to a point? Don't say anything about the for more than.
Not
No.
until they standardize them because they won't be changing. I
I
really
still think even then we will. Like you say, we standardize all the baskets. I still think like every couple weeks there's going to be a spit out or cut through or something, and we're like, damn baskets again, man. They just suck.
Are the baskets they putted on this past weekend the best baskets that they've putted on all season?
The Mach X's?
Yeah.
I know that, but if I didn't see that spit out on 18 right before Presnell tapped in, like that optically, that was a worst case scenario.
That was the only one I saw that was like bad.
It was rough.
That was bad, bro.
It was bad.
Just the moment.
just happens,
the
though.
moment. It was
Yeah,
more
I
the
think-
timing than anything, but that was tough.
I think, yeah, I would love for them to experiment more with baskets. But companies, when they're making a basket, make a basket that fit the general standards of the PDGA's guidelines for the basket, and then move on. And they have their own little things instead of messing with like, what if we made this way bigger, way smaller, chains way different?
I don't think they need to make too big of adjustments. I know we're going down a rabbit hole here, but that's okay because we're in overtime. I think they actually need to mess with like the weight of the chain links or something like that. Like messing around with that thing, or maybe messing around with like the different material you use for the chain links. I think that needs to be discovered because it seems like when the disc hits the chains, we need to find something where how much is going to catch them and how much is it going to push back against the disc or take a cushion for the
What if
disc.
like 2 strands of chains free basket and it's different every time, or just actually paper mache? You throw it and it just like disintegrates.
Who is it? Is it Robbie who's like? Is it Robbie or is you Tyler? I don't know why I'm confusing you two here. Where you guys, where one of these two individuals were like, let's just go crazy. Let's make like only chains on the right side of the basket.
Taylor,
that was-
that was
Okay,
Taylor.
that was Taylor. Oh, I
That
was
was me and
wrong
Taylor.
twice. Dude,
Me and Robbie look very similar.
you guys,
Yeah, that
you
was me
know,
and Taylor
it's
because
like,
I was talking about what if we welded some of the chains to where they don't move at all.
Yeah,
yeah, we should
that would
try
be
it.
funny. Yeah, I mean, there's just different things they can do. I think someone needs to start experimenting, like legitimately, and seeing what they can come up with. I like the baskets they put on this weekend. I there's a course around here that has those baskets, and I actually enjoy those putting on those baskets.
What my home course has. I actually really like Texas.
Yeah, they're nice. I mean, it seems like the veteran baskets are
Trash.
the chains are like either too far apart or they're too light, and you can smash the pole really easily, or it cuts through. And then you have Prodigy where it pushes back every time, and it's gonna spit out because they got the chains interlocking in the middle, so you can't cut through the middle. So I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm really tired of talking about baskets. Not
Yeah.
even gonna lie.
Listen, I'll
So.
say it. Sometimes I love pulling up to a course and they got dang Mach 3s or Mach 1s in there, and you're like,
Facts.
dude, let me just like, how can you even be mad if it spits out then, bro?
I gotta put like Ken Climo, baby. We're
You
going
gotta
back
put
in the
like
day.
Yeah.
King Climo, and
Also,
gonna
to
say-
be honest, we're playing golf. How many people are actually good at putting in golf?
Yeah, not many.
And how many spit outs do they get? Like, I just played my first league round yesterday,
How'd it
and
go?
you know how many times I saw a ball lip out just because, and no one's like, "Oh, these dang holes."
Exactly.
Like, it's not. It has nothing
Exactly.
to do with it.
Preach
So-
it, brother. Come on. That's what I've been saying too. Is that like no one ever like gets mad at holes in
well-
golf because of a lip out. Like you got to hit it at the right speed. There, and it's so funny because that's so true. Like in golf, you have to hit it at the right angle, at the right speed for it to go in, and yet it should be the same philosophy in disc golf. Right angle, right speed. Like that needs to also be studied. Like what's the best like angle of the disc going into the basket, and what location in the basket gives you the best opportunity for it to not spit out. That's what should be studied, and then we can
I
figure
can
out.
give you that data.
Okay, cool.
Have it next week.
Send it to my email.
All right.
Sounds good. Anything else we want to talk about from the weekend before we get into DDO?
Nah.
I mean, nothing.
I think he's looking at Taylor, but I can't tell.
No,
Alrighty.
I'm just saying like everyone's been talking about it, but like, hot take Hannum back at it
Oh.
again, dude.
That guy's an idiot, and that's all I'll say.
Listen, well, I'll tell you this. We'll try to spin it into like a funny segment. In my disc golf group, we were playing Friday together, and we were just saying like, brother was hitting the henny real hard at 4 o'clock on Thursday, just tweeting away. Like I was looking at all the tweets that he was tweeting back at people, and I was just laughing, dude. I thought it was just so funny. I was like, this
you know,
is
you say that could be true.
I don't
You think about it.
there's- I think that
I don't know.
definitely has some merit.
he could have been hitting something.
Yeah, that he gets
brother
off
was
his round.
Brother was what do you call it? DFL. I mean, he
Yeah.
could have been
okay.
hitting the bottle. He's got a pregnant Katrina Allen. I mean, he could have been hitting that
Wait,
thing hard.
someone check and see how this boy played round one. Is this a call for help? Do we need to?
Oh yeah,
Maybe
I
this is
looked. He was
drastic.
in 93rd place.
Yeah, this might be actually. This poor guy actually might need real. This might be his
Yeah.
sign.
I think what's funny is that in our disc golf group we had a couple people who have similar opinions to me about trans athletes and FPO, and even all of us were like, dude, the guy is completely washed. Just shut your mouth. Just stop. So,
Dude,
it
he was
was-
in 94th after round one.
but it was
Only won-
comical. It was comical to read some of the stuff he was saying back to people is what I enjoyed the
Yeah.
most.
Yeah, he
So
might
I
actually.
went to his replies and just started reading them. I'm like, oh gosh, this is great. I mean,
Yeah.
if he was hitting the bottle, dude, he didn't have any spelling mistakes. I'll tell you that much.
That is impressive. He was under the
Yeah.
influence of something.
No, brother, you forgot
It's not-
Grammarly. Grammarly.com, bro. They all got it
That
installed.
he could have been on Grammarly the whole
Yeah.
time.
The
Actually,
only person, the only person.
actually it was
Go
just
ahead.
AI that was responding for him.
Yeah,
Actually,
yeah. He actually just set that up. Like the only other person who he beat was Tristan Tanner and Corey Ellis. Corey Ellis DNF'd. So
Was
He
this
didn't do-
is this Twitter spree or the marijuana as a performance enhancing drug Twitter spree worse?
I forgot about the first one.
I don't know.
Providing some disc
Or
golf.
I guess
humor.
not even just the marijuana, just the disc golfers need to be drafted more.
Yeah, I think that's dumb. That's so dumb. I think that's yeah. I think that's really really dumb. It's funny though because you look at some of these disc golfers who post pictures of either before or after the round. Like we do a thing in our disc golf group where we play spot the pen to try to see if they're a marijuana smoker before or after the round. And some of these guys, there's definitely a list of guys you can tell who's hitting it before the round, and you definitely would know who they are too. Like you could like just guess who they are, and they're definitely the guys.
I really want like DGA just to lean into it, and I want somebody to like use that tweet as a stamp on like a pipeline or something. That's what I need. Like stamp that on some DGA.
That
Or it's
would
the
be-
stopwatch with the 12 seconds.
Yeah, that would be good, Corey. I like that one. Yeah. So he it was so funny. I wonder if he's like been waiting to like release that like he's like the first thing that PDGA does to
The
me,
first thing I'm mad at.
I'm hitting the trans community right off the bat. Like I wonder if he was cooking it up.
That is a crazy swing to start off with. Just off 12 seconds. Well, this is what I'm passionate about.
Dude was passionate, dude. It was so funny though because I saw the and this is a whole nother controversy, but the Ken Climo Twitter guy say something about Austin Hannum, and I thought it was made up because he had retweeted it or whatever the case may be. And then I went and looked. I was like, oh no, this is real. We're starting to fire it back up again.
Dude, you know what's a bad tweet when your first reaction is there's no way that's really them, right?
Yeah, I was like, oh, we're doing this again. It was like the guy from like GTA. It's like, oh man, here we go again. Geez. All right, let's get into some DDO. So we're going to Dynamic Disc Open this weekend back at Emporia. The one big thing, we don't need to really like get into this, but the one thing that I did put in our group message was they changed 18, which I didn't get a chance to see on practice round coverage because I was way too busy. But it looks like they've made the landing area kind of like an island, and then the green is an island. Matt, did you watch a practice round where you got to see this bad boy?
I did, in fact, watch a practice round and did, in fact.
How was the island green looking like? Would it look like it was kind of hard to hit or what?
On a scale of 1 to 5 flame emoji, how sick is this?
I don't know. I feel like I need to see a bunch of people play it to decide, like, do I really enjoy this that much? But, like, I didn't think it was.
Well, it was a
It
par.
looked mildly cool.
It was a par 4. Now they made it a par 5 and made it an island. So what I personally love about it is that if you throw a good drive, it baits you in trying to go for the eagle, which I love. I want to see some high risk, high reward. So not eagle. Gosh, Eric McCade is screaming in my heart right now. So I love this design. So I'm gonna have to go watch a practice round when we get off, maybe, and just go to this last hole so I can see how people are gonna dissect it. But
Yeah.
How
I
do you
mean,
guys- go ahead, Matt. Sorry. No. Go
I,
ahead.
I
I
was,
keep cutting
I
you off.
was just
You
gonna
guys
say,
go ahead.
yeah,
Thanks, Taylor.
yeah, Taylor, go ahead, man. Just go ahead. The first landing zone, I think is 370 to the landing zone, right? And then you move up it, and then is 18? No, 18 wasn't. I don't know. The hole's kind of sick.
Well,
it's
can
definitely-
you like hyzer into a longer spot or not really?
from the for the first landing zone?
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely can. There's this big tree on the right side
Yeah.
that slows it down a little bit. But if you had I think honestly the goat move is a flex line, really high, really far, that just digs into the hill.
Yeah.
But I think it will make actually a sick finishing hole because if you have to take the eagle and you go for it, that's pretty sick. You know?
Yeah.
But no, that's it. That's it. I'll just wanted to add that to it. Continue.
Cool. Well, let's give a points update real quick for Champions Cup. So, biggest movers, we'll start with the biggest mover, which was Taylor with 4 points this week because we went double points on because of a major. So, Ricky's, are you literally texting each other during the show?
No.
This is a joke.
Oh, that's so funny. He started it.
That is true.
That's right. Crying emoji. We're cool with it. So Taylor, as I'm trying to congratulate Taylor for having the most points, he got Ricky as a podium with 2 points, and he gets the good old Casey White, another dark horse pick with the 2 points.
Oh.
If Casey White had gotten a podium, you get the point for the dark horse and the point for the podium. So you could have got a 4-pointer if
That's a good deal.
If Casey had pulled off the win, it would have been 1 point for dark horse, 3 points for the win, which means he would have gotten 8 points if Casey White would have won, which would have been wild.
Insane.
But he didn't. So
Wow.
Tried.
yeah. Yeah.
Tried his best.
Matt got 2 points for Ezra Robinson. That was really close. He barely hung on for that one. And then I picked up 2 points with Nicholas. I thought I had a chance for the win, didn't get it. And obviously none of us chose Presnell to win, so
Oh,
no one got the winner. I think this is the first week that nobody got the winner, which is totally okay with Presnell winning. Corey laid a goose egg. He had a lot of guys that were in it on the first day, but roughed out. So we have a new point total now. So we're starting from bottom to the top. Matt's got 7 points. I've got 8 points. Corey is now in second place with 12 points, and Taylor has the lead with 13 points. So this week picks will go Matt, Tyler, Corey, then Taylor.
Yup.
So I need to pull up who the heck is playing this week in front of me.
While we do this, I say every week, I've done in the Discord, Jamie, graphic design, some visual segment, I really make it pop.
Yeah, we could
Okay.
do that.
And every week, Corey says, okay.
Yep. And then I forget.
Hey, man, it happens. Every week, I Google the PDGA top 100 players, and it takes me 5 times to find it.
Corey's recorded files are sitting in his memory bank, crying a little bit
Yeah, that's also true.
for your videos.
Wah, wah, wah.
They don't want to be edited, and
No, they
The
want to
gra-
be edited. I want to edit them.
no, I know, I'm just messing.
No,
All right.
I know you know, but I need I want to edit them and they want to be edited.
Okay,
It's all consensual.
that's good.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get some picks in. DDO. Who is winning DDO, Matt?
Oh, I'm panicking. I was looking.
I feel like Matt panics every week.
Yeah, but
I-
this time I was fully locked in on my dark horse pick and forgot I had to pick first for DDO.
But you get last pick for Dark Horse, though.
Dude, you would be crazy not to take AB here. Am I wrong for that?
Your call.
That's I'm taking. That is my call. You're right. I'm
AB.
taking AB. Yeah,
Cool.
giant open course that has eagle opportunities if you can throw ridiculously large shots. Come on, man.
One thing I want to do. Give me 1 second. I always say that every week, and then here we go. Okay. I'm gonna have to go. Oh man. And now I'm in the same predicament I was in last week, where Calvin Heimberg fell into my hands. I have to take Calvin Heimberg.
I don't feel like thereds a lot of forehands up. Less worried about that.
Yeah, I think you
Calvin,
can force a lot of turnovers
Calvin won
too.
it last, or almost won it last year. So gotta yeah, stick with my guns. Corey, you get third pick this week. Who do you got?
Okie dokie.
You know you want to.
Yeah, you're right. Aaron Gossage.
Yep, I already wrote it down.
Art, dang it.
Yep,
So
I
I
already
really
wrote
do
it
think
down.
he has a good chance here. So
Yep, and this is just the win, I think.
I don't really like this pick. Pick it. Give me your Richard McDickard. Pick
Yep.
him every week, and he points sometimes. And he does well out here. And it's like
Yeah,
home court
Is
advantage.
how that works.
I also have another pick, I believe, Commissioner, and I think that I'm going to stick with the trilogy theme, and I'm going to say Matty-O.
like that pick.
Commissioner.
He was
Very
in the top
interesting.
5 last year in this
Yeah,
tournament.
Matt. Give me that look.
I mean, it's just a little weird.
I was going to pick Goose, so I wasn't prepared.
Oh, hey,
My second.
Yeah. All right, Corey, you get the next pick.
Another weird one. Ezra Aderhold.
dude, bro
I
just
love
stole my
that
pick. I was fully prepped for that.
Pick.
Oh, I was fully prepped and ready. Oh, just as prepped as you can be here, man.
Let me just
No
check
good.
to make sure he's playing in this tournament. I'm
He
pretty
is.
sure.
I'm on
Okay,
panic
cool.
level. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he would be. I'm gonna go Ezra Robinson.
Okay, man. All right, man. Back to me. Wow, this is tough. Give me. I think I really need to play this smart. Give me Paul Macbeth. I'm just gonna say.
Great pick.
It's,
Not-
it's Paul. What else am I gonna do?
If I played my cards right, I've played this perfectly. Matt, last pick.
My last pick for this event. Before I go to my dark horse, right?
Well, you don't get a chance to pick your dark horse until everyone else has, but
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
What am I seeing that
Yeah.
this guy's not seeing? Is my
yeah,
question.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Don't-
Gannon Burr.
Dang it! He didn't play in this tournament last year. That's why he wouldn't show up on the stat sheet.
Brother, I'm looking at this year's stat sheet. My first pick was
Gosh
Zach Melton
dang it.
until I realized. it
I
wasn't
thought
related.
somebody was gonna get happy on Ezra, and I really wanted him.
I do think, especially with how well Ezra Aderhold has been playing, I think Ezra
Shoot,
Aderhold in
man.
a more wooded or open course is also a goated pick. All right, Tyler, show us your next pick.
Well, you picked mine, so now I gotta.
Hey man,
Such a good movie.
what you gonna do?
What all that junk?
Why wait for Tyler? Do you guys think that I will or will not get my Windows 11 product key that I just bought for $11 off Groupon?
That's hilarious.
It's a tough one. I'm going to say yes, I believe.
Yeah, I believe too. They're selling a lot. They've got good reviews too. 5,000 plus people bought. They have 2,229 Groupon ratings, 4.5 stars. That's a lot of folks. So I gotta believe because I tried to do it on something else and my bank account blocked the productkeys.com. So I have to believe it may have been unsafe.
Okay,
Actually, I lied. I've used them before. They're safe. They're safe.
let me see who's playing this week, and let me just go like that.
Corey, how
Alright.
this hat's coming along, brother?
I did this one so far. I did a camo one for the guy that owns the skate shop that sells discs too.
Nice.
And then those two I sold. They're both going to some of my buddies in my golf league.
Very nice.
I'm gonna
and
go
then I've
Chris
got-
Dickerson.
You're doing
Uh-oh.
what now?
Hey,
I'm
you
just kidding.
can't throw it into a
Sorry,
tree 5
what?
feet in front of him.
You just aggroed Corey.
I did that on purpose.
No, I didn't want him anyway.
Oh dang it!
Yeah, I got a ton of hats back there that I still got to do. But
W.
Yeah.
W.
is it my turn?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just because I want to see him do good, I'm going P. McBee.
I
Did
already took
anybody?
him, bud.
Oh, you did, dude. I am so
I thought he was joking.
no.
I want to see him do good too, to be clear. But
Okay. Did anybody pick Nicholas?
No.
All right.
Wait, hold on. Is he playing though? That's the question.
great
It is-
Quevin.
I don't think
I don't
he
think he
is.
is.
Wait,
Oh no, he's
I
not.
mean, you can still
No,
pick
he's
him.
not.
Yeah, if you want to pick him, bro.
Uh,
Oh,
I'd heard he was going back home.
let's go Klein.
Yeah, I like that one. I thought about it. All right, Taylor.
I've had a long time to think about this one, and it's not going to show in my pick, but I just, sometimes you just have a feeling. And I'm going to pick Adam Hames. I don't know why.
very
picking him.
interesting pick.
I was thinking that too.
I feel like it could be his week, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
And for my dark horse selection, the biggest selection of all for me, I think it would be the biggest duty dumb guy move to not just pick Parker Welk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, brother.
So I'm gonna lock that one in.
Where's Parker Welk at?
58th.
Oh, okay.
All
right, Corey. All you, brother. Who's your dark horse? Guys, for a second, I thought Brody was gonna do something for about the first like 2 holes, and I thought my inspirational message I sent him worked.
Dude, how about the fact that he had to stay for the last round because he made the cut and then didn't cash?
Yeah, that's rough.
It's
As
amazing.
he said, can't make greatness in a couple weeks.
I thought it was just extra tough too. I think I saw him tweet like from where he restarted after the delay, like on hole 12, throwing 6 and like halfway down the fairway and like had to go back and just pick up from there.
That's so
Oh,
sad.
man.
Yeah,
I am
that'll
gonna
break a spirit.
go with Gavin Rathbun,
Good pick.
Very good pick, actually.
42.
I'm going Emerson Keith, Emmer Daddy.
Almost picked him in my top.
Yep, I thought about it
Um,
too.
I don't know why.
He played pretty decent in Champions Cup, and he played well here last year. I think he was top 10 last year.
Okay, give me
Iguodala.
Austin Turner. I've been a big believer.
This
in Austin
might be the
Turner. He hasn't
first
told me, but-
week that Luke Humphreys was not chosen. Nope, we didn't choose him the first week. We didn't choose him at Austin, but that was
Remember, Humphries gets in top 5 the rest of this year. I'm giving all my points to Matt. So
Also, I
depending
want to
on-
give an apology shout out to Anthony Bedanza for not picking him, but I think you're gonna get eaten alive here.
smacked.
I forgot it.
And it has
Every
nothing
time.
to do with how short he is, right, Corey?
Nope, I think this course is just brutal, and it's wind season, so
Wind season, baby.
it's gonna be tough.
You know who plays well in the wind? Emmer Daddy.
I was gonna say not Brody, but he did play well.
he did
It's
play
just
well, yeah.
his one disc just did not want to stay inbounds.
I will never forget that shot.
Yep.
That
Yeah,
was-
you got to feel for the man a little bit after looking at that shot.
But if looking back, he was throwing a zone, and it was like, I don't know if a zone was really called for there with that kind of crosswind happening. I think
Was
you
that
got to
before the OS came out?
Yeah, way before.
Well, now he's
Maybe.
got it. That's the whole reason, man.
Maybe that's
Yeah.
why.
He said this will never happen to me again at this course.
Yep.
What the heck is going on, dude? We got to wrap this thing up before
ASAP.
yeah, and then we can continue on live. So, all right, just to say what the teams are. Matt is AB, Paul McBeth, Gannon Burr, Austin Turner. Great
Maybe
spot.
a goat setup. Might be
That's
a goat
pretty
setup.
good. Pretty good. Yeah. Tyler has got Calvin, Ezra Robinson, Chris Dickerson, and Emmer Daddy. Corey's got Goose, Ezra Aderhold, Kyle Klein, Gavin Rathbun, and Taylor's got Ricky Wysocki, Matteo, Adam Hemes, and Parker Welk. So It'll be super fascinating. Matt could get on a heater and get 5 points, and then all of a sudden he's tied for second if Corey doesn't pick up anything.
And that's what I need.
And
That's
we'll
what
all
I'm
be
believing.
taking in the action together.
We will be
That's true.
Yep.
all in one. Yep, nothing to do with all 4 of us being together in one house.
Watch some, throw some deep.
That's
Yep.
right.
The bees.
Yep. Well, in that case, we just want to go ahead and try to wrap up this thing tonight. So thank you guys so much for watching. And you know what? Let's throw a like and subscribe out there. You know, if you catch us on the tube, like the video. We would appreciate a like and put in some comments. What was your biggest disappointment from the Champions Cup, either course wise, player wise, anything like that? Let us know. We'll comment you back. We'll debate you and tell you you're wrong, or maybe you put up a good hot take, and then we can congratulate you on a good hot take. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget, we'll see you guys Saturday night live for a little bit of a special episode where we're all together and we can tell you about how our disc golf went that day. So, thank you guys so much for watching. See you later. See you guys next week.
Hi, guys.
Siku.